through Chris High, which said there must be free and compulsory education. Long then, before even you were in government. So the issue of free education, it's in place. In 2011, President Jacob Zuma, he said, it was in Bloemfontein, that all third-year students who are using financial aid, their financial aid loan will be converted to a bursary. All of them. That's what was said by the president. And you must check whether it's a realization or it's not. I remember at that time I was doing my BTech in this institution. We were unfortunate not to benefit from that, but others who followed us, they should have benefited in that. That is free education. The organization that is currently singing free education is the South African Student Congress. To the issue of those who are staying in the street, fellow panelists, those people are defying to be led by their parents. Because they will never give you an answer that I left, they will say, both of my parents died, so there was no one who could take care of me, that's why I'm in the streets, which is untrue. It's fallacious. It can't even that there's no one from your uncle's side, it can't even that there's no aunties to take care of you. Those people are just defiers of elders. They want to be there. On the issue, comrades and friends, I think I will sit down now. I think the issue of graduates who are unemployed is the critical issue. But again, we can't only look at it here in the institution of higher learning. You know the mistake starts at grade 9. When a learner is about to choose whether it's going to be a commerce, a general, or a physics. That's where a mistake starts. And we must look at it in that way. There's a student that is doing public administration in DUT. And DUT is saying not going to fund a tech. There's a student in Tanzania that is doing the same qualification, a degree, UJ, everywhere. You all going to contest a post in the municipality. You want to be employed, all of you there. You come with a diploma. You are moved before you even go to an interview because they have said they want a diploma or a degree. That's what they say. If you have seen posters advertised. And they go as far as saying, if you do not have license, you move the side. If you do not have, because that's how I wish HR students were here. They were going to tell you that if they see that there is more number of people who have applied for the same post, they have to increase the requirement. And that's how we are not employed. There are many people who are doing same qualification. HR is here, UT is everywhere. We are doing one and same thing. What you should be saying is that a minister of basic education and the Minister of Higher Education, they must sit and design a way of dealing with this issue. Because the inequality that is found there, the unemployment that is found there, the poverty that is found there, the inequality starts in high school. That those who are doing general are undermined by those who are doing commerce. Those who are doing commerce are undermined by those who are doing physics. It's a fact. I wanted to say much, but I am sorry. I can just say thank you. Thank you very much for it.
That were such mass amazing comments, and we appreciate it. But before we go any further, before she forgets the question that was asked, let her answer, then I'll come to you. Were you going to answer, or this side? That's fine. It's the issue of free education or NSFAS loan should be given to those who has not but will fail, or given to those who have and will pass.
I think the man, okay, I'm not sure what gender was it, but then I think he or she has left, because I don't see he or she there. So, what I would say is the rule of NSFAS clearly states it's for underprivileged kids. Whether you fail or not, if your parents earn an income of more than 120,000 per annum, you will not get NSFAS. Whether you pass or not, it's not for you. Tell your parents to pay your fees. It's for those who are poor and cannot afford. Thank you very much.
And guys, NSFAS, you know, I've heard quite a number of talking about NSFAS as in a system of free education, say the fact that you are in an institution And your NSFAS means the government is providing free. There's no such. NSFAS is a loan. I'm going to pay it back. It's a loan. It's not a free education system. But the issue of education, as my last comment, I would say, let's not look at the education that is provided. What about the quality of the education that is provided? Is it adequate? Are we getting the right education? Is the system that is providing the education adequate for us? If it is adequate, what is it doing for us? What is it doing for us? Yes, you can go. I'm going to take these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forgive me, others, please. Yes, you're the 4th one.
Thanks, Program Director. My name is Ntokozo Nzuza. Thanks for the good presentation from both panels, from both institutions. But I was hoping that maybe when we speak about political influence in service delivery, we're going to also touch geographical spread. Because service delivery is not the same in areas, in different areas. Let's say, for instance, if you go to Mhlanga, you will find a hospital there. Their service is quite different. Let's say, for instance, you go to Makol. Makol is going to be the public hospital. And if the hospital is becoming a public hospital, you will never find the same service as the service that you get in Prince Michel Hospital. And when we speak about service delivery and political influence, you must also go as far as touching the municipalities. Because when you go to municipalities that are not governed by the ANC, that are governed by other organizations, you will never find the same service. And it's a problem whereby you are governing the municipality or the province, such as Western Cape. Yet you are not governing the country. So the service will never be the same. So you must also touch based on the geographical spread, on how political parties and their level of leading and governing particular municipalities and provinces affect the service delivery. This one which must also consider when you speak about service delivery. And I'll also touch one of the speakers, I think it was from DUT. She spoke about, she in fact posed the question to all of us. The question reads as follows, I quote: does parties deliver according to their manifestos? I close quote. This question is very interesting, in fact. Political parties are very much eager to speak about service that they deliver to the community. But during normal time, not election time, they are very much quiet, they don't speak. But when it comes to election, they come and say, yeah, we'll do this, and we find that even their family, they can't provide for their families. Yes, they're expecting us to vote for them. And when we speak about when we say the ruling party has never done anything, we must also think that the colonialism in South Africa, in Africa as a whole, but I'm specifically speak about Africa, South Africa. We have been colonized for 82 years. And we have been ruled by apartheid government for 48 years. And you cannot just expect miracles to happen overnight. We cannot have free education now immediately. Because some of these people were not speaking when National Party, which is NP, was leading the country. Yes. They were very much quiet. But now we're in a democracy. In fact, we must recognize and appreciate the ANC for bringing the democracy in the country. Because you see now, you know the problem now, we have mushroom organizations that can come overnight and preach their own manifesto, such as Kiss Party, Soccer Party, EFF, you name them. So now with that, that's why I said we must appreciate the ruling party for their efforts. And for the last comment.
Comrade Speaker, please. Thank you. No, last one. Thanks, Comrade Speaker. Comrades, I mean, friends, colleagues, there is a big problem when I have to stop you roughly. Please, when I indicate to you that your time is over, just respond as an academic, just hand over the microphone, because I will stop you.
Coordinator is because of its transformation in education that we're talking about. All of you were talking about this thing of transformation education. a postgraduate of DUT. Oh, yeah, okay. Ngizoshesha coordinator. Although coordinator ngizoqala ngokwenza nje comment ngawo uqobo. Coordinator siyabonga ukuthi ubambe kahle uhlelo. Although ngufeyila ngokuhlala. Online. Ngizoqhubeka coordinator ngize kubafowethu. Bafowethu ngiyabonga ama comment enwenzile. Kodwa into engiyibukayo esinqena ukuyenza ukuthi we always post question and then we're using this thing people and when who are you? Why we don't say we in that terms of you in English you say we but thina bantu senzani sibuye ke size kulokhu abafowethu abakushoyo njengamanje ukuthi ugovernment inaseyenzile yina ngakayenzi kukhulunywe into emnandi mfowethu makuthiwa i-impact izinto ezenziwa ama-political parties ithinteka kanjani i-service delivery noma ukusizakala komphakathi. Okokuqala nje uma ubheka umfowethu sewayibeka kusubonga ukhongolose asande kakhulu nama-organization after 1994 singalala ku-1998 kuyaqhubeka kuya phezulu. Bafowethu masikhuluma nge-service delivery usisi ukwayibeka clear ukuthi thina inkinga yethu sifuna nalokhu obona isimple. Ngizwile nomfowethu undermine usidadewethu undermine umfowethu la uthi akambonanga noma isiyoshi umfowethu la undermine abantu abadef ngebhadi kusebenza kubona uzowenza lezi zinto azenza yingoba mhlambe we are free. Ngibuye
I just got a kickstart. Before we do anything, before I do anything, my name is Mondli Mzulwini. I'm doing public management, my second level. It's been a pleasure throughout the first year. And before we do anything else, please say we don't have the whole day. Can you pass on? I said this before, so don't give me any trouble, please.
Oh yeah, Mr. Okay.
Thanks. Thank you. Can you just please, I beg you to accommodate us all.
Yeah.
I understand graduates, thank you, but please accommodate us all.
Ngicela nje ungidedele ngikhuluma imhlala ngaphambili ngoba ngibona ngathi isikhathi simoshakala kakhulu kwi-president. Ngizozama ube mfishane. I think we must also speak on the concept of free education because I think it has been misinterpreted. What is free education? You see, in South Africa, we haven't received any free education. We only have fee-free education, which is a step close to actual free education. Because those who understand free education, it is explained and understood into two folds, in terms of its monetary value, and second, in terms of its content. When we say want free education, we say want education that is free in terms of its monetary value. That's the first fold. Second, we say want free education that is free in terms of its content. When we mean about its content, we say we want a people's education for people's power. We say African problems, they deserve African solutions. An education whereby when you are taught in class, you are doing your agriculture. When you graduate, you don't wait to become an employee, but with your education, you'll be able to sustain yourself without being employed. That is free education we speak about in terms of its content. And currently, the government has not been able to reach that step, but because the current government has been able to, with the free education, to take a step towards the actual free education in terms of its content. Now, we move further from the latter speaker from MUT, who was raising a very non-dialectical issue. I'm saying we must dismiss your argument, rather, to say that when we vote, we should vote for manifestos, we should stick more on manifestos, not the organization. You see, your argument is non-dialectical, because between organizations and manifestos, there's a dialectical relation. And you can't dissociate an organization and a manifesto. So that ambiguity, it must be corrected. Don't ever raise it again in any platform. But moving forward, please, if you clap, can you clap hands after, because I want to cover time with them. I'm going to touch on Sisi from MUT again, who posed a question to say, have we received enough services from government? My question here is to say, when we look at onto issues, we must zoom them in, not from a far position, we must zoom issues in. For instance, to understand that you are Mr. Pillay, you must know your history. By knowing your history, you can know where you come from. And if you want to look at the incumbent government, we must know where does our country comes from. The apartheid regime has overstayed in Africa for almost 100 years. And currently we are in a period of redress. You can't say the system that has overstayed for more than 100 years, you can expect to redress it over the period of 20 years. It's non-scientific in its nature. But we must appreciate realities to say, currently as the country in a public sector, we've been seeing that there has been a massive development, there's been a massive service delivery. You speak of your fee-free education, you speak of your NSFAS line, you speak of your rural development, you speak of your urban development, and the last point.
Sir,
On the question,
I won't allow you to go in the last point. You've taken 3 minutes already, please. Let's go to the second, please. Thanks very much. You can clap hands if you want to. Hi, that is the last one. Thank you.
Basically, I have a comment. For starters, what I grasp is that mostly South Africans have become almost like charity cases. They're just expecting everything for free. So they no longer want to work for themselves. So on that socialism thingy, I'm sorry, I'm not keen. You need to work hard for your own things. So we need to keep that in mind. Secondly, in terms of service delivery, we need to keep in mind also about urban migration, but how people from rural areas come to the urban. So, because the problem is, in South Africa, the strikes or the protests are within the CBDs or the urban areas, where people from the rural areas come in. So urban migration is also the key problem. Then there's a speaker who spoke about the grooming the entrepreneurs. Unfortunately or fortunately, the current government has incubators. They have developed incubators. Here's the problem now. If you really want the knowledge won't come to you. You need to seek the knowledge. That's why we need to shy away or move away from being spoon-fed the knowledge. So we need to go to these SMMEs and look for the knowledge and these incubators so they can assist us with entrepreneurship skills. Secondly, there's someone who actually made a comment about the GDP. Unfortunately, I listen a lot and I do my research. A GDP. Why we became second in South Africa right now, as they say. Unfortunately, the IMF hasn't released any statement as yet. It's just the speculation. We need to keep that in mind. We need to look at our GDP per capita. If you grasp that, you will understand why we are at the second. Right now in South Africa, we have AMCU who's leading the strike or whatsoever. That's basically, platinum is one of the most thing that actually is being exported or imported in South Africa. So that's why it's affecting our GDP currently. And in terms of our infrastructure, we are better than Nigeria. Do your research properly, please. As it says, promises, one of the fundamentals. When somebody says, I promise you, a promise doesn't have a due date. We need to keep that in mind. A promise doesn't have a due date. You may ask your boyfriend too about that. And guys, also, there's one thing that is problematic about South African and people. I'm a person who's studying language practice and I read a lot. There's a part in my course, it says a discourse analysis, where we're trying to read and understand the message that is beyond what is there. when you look at the South African media and the way they report, unfortunately, it's very immature in terms of the media because they misinform, and also us, due to the fact that we lack knowledge, then we take that garbage and put it inside and try to understand it. Yeah. There's something that is said by the speaker over there about in terms of having adequate education. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we definitely have an education that is working. But primarily, the problem is, it's us people who are receiving that education. What do we do with that education? About our graduates. About our graduates, the problem is, we contemplate that our diplomas will actually seek work for us, which basically that is the whole total wrong problem. We don't have interview skills. Nobody's going to spoon feed you interview skills. Nobody's going to feed you a proper lingua franca that is supposed to conduct in an interview, the manner you provide. So guys, please, let's just eradicate this ignorance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. One of my colleagues wants to make comments about undermining something. I think you got him wrong, and you got me wrong again. I didn't say anything about girl or boy. I don't remember that. Also, she wants to clarify also that she wasn't meaning that. So it was a mistake. You misunderstood her. She wants to say something.
Mind you, sir, there's something that's been called multitasking. Thank you for informing me that it was a gentleman. While the gentleman was talking, I was actually looking down and writing down his question. I wasn't looking at her. That's why I said I'm not sure if it's a he or a she. And he had a soft voice. So that's why I didn't understand if it was a girl or a boy. The part of undermining is very wrong. You're judging me for something that I didn't do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Before I call upon my lecturer to just wrap the whole thing and give thanks to you all, you don't know how important it is that you were here. Every one of you all made a difference today by ushering that information that I didn't know, that my friend didn't know. I'm going to just give my friend over here.
Thank you very much, sir. Firstly, to Mr. Zono, I would like to extend my apologies for whatever offensive comment I made. Thank you for correcting me. I apologize if I offended anyone. Thank you very much. Then we move on. I think you spoke about something, and it has been going on around. I would like to quote a very dear friend of mine, Pluto. He said, the duty of the government is to make life good, not possible. So we make things possible for ourselves, but the duty of the government is to meet us halfway to make it good. So, but then we have to know what the definition of good is. Then we go on the terms of what I was saying about the manifestos. I think your name is Education, sir. What I actually mean is we actually push the vision. About voting for the manifesto, what I mean is we actually push the vision. If it's the vision of the ANC or of the EFF, we push their vision. We are pro that vision, pro that manifesto. Is it understood? Then in terms of transparency, I'm not pro or anti anything, but I say that not all of us understand where our tax is going. Not all of us. So what I mean is they should make things clear to us, make us understand what is happening. There should be transparency. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. I would now just like to call my lecturer to sum the whole thing up and to give thanks and remarks of the whole debate. By the way, guys, let me remind you, this was an academic panel discussion. No one is better than the other. No one knows more than the other. We're just sharing what we have to make it adequate and to fit us all. So don't go out here and say, hey, Bacheli. It was a discussion. It was a discussion. Thanks.
Colleagues, thanks for your presence, for the valuable comment. But I think both teams, I would like you to stand, and I would like the audience to give them a round of applause. The intention was to stimulate some discussion. None of these students are politicians at this point in time. They will probably become administrators in a few years' time. But Ms. Mondli, I think I'm proud of both the teams, and I think you and your staff are also equally proud of the caliber of individuals that we have. And you can see dynamite does come in small packages. And I think the ladies are really taking a stand. And I think if we have youth like you guys around, that will make a big difference in the community, irrespective from a rural area or from an urban area. I think all you guys did exceptionally well, and I'm very proud of both the teams. Well done. Okay? Well done. To each and every member here that came in, the students, I know some of you have already completed your studies as well. I know some of you have played a big difference in the university in terms of the leadership of the student leadership. We thank you for your comments, and we thank everyone. And as Moni said, we want to start talking because we haven't done this before. It's the first time we are doing something like this, and to me it's a start. So it shouldn't stop here. I think we should go on into other aspects of public management and extend the scope to beyond both our institutions, where we can invite other academic institutions. And the colleagues are speaking about the number of there's 23 universities. I'm saying, how can we start engaging all of us so we can talk about aspects that are important to us, that can make a difference to our lives. So thank you very much for the comments. Ms. Mondli, thank you and your team coming up to DUT. We hope to see you back at Mangosuthu, and I know my colleagues, my young colleagues here will want to come and challenge your students back on your home turf. But to the other colleagues, let's take this debate a little further. As some of the students said, how do we get active involved? It starts with us. Mahatma Gandhi said it must be the change that you want to see. And then when we're quoting Mandela, we're speaking about the value and the importance of education. So we want to empower each and everybody, and that is what you're here to do, to empower yourself. You can make a difference. We can't rely on the government all the time. You need to make a difference. You need to get involved. I interfere with my students and ask them, how many of you are involved in ward committees? Today, they are speaking about the budget, the municipal budget at the Curry's Fountain, and I think from here, those students that are not coming, those students that want some lunch, you can go across to Curry's Fountain, listen. But before I leave, I'm going to ask my students from DUT to present the Mangosuthu students with a small token of our appreciation. Do the small presentation. I'm going to ask Moni to present one of the gifts to Mrs. Mondli to bring her for her bringing her team along.
Get your cameras ready, guys.
One second.
I want to extend our gratitude to DUT, and Mondli, you've done very well, and you should be very proud of yourself. And a special thanks to the both teams as well. Of course, I'm going to be a little one-sided right now. I'm extremely proud of you guys as well. Well done. Thank you as well to the team from DUT, from MUT. Thank you, Dr. Cele, and we'll definitely meet you at MUT the next time.
I'd just like to call upon Mr. Ndlovu. Bonga is the one that started the discussion between DUT and MUT. And I think it's fair that I gave him a small token as well. Mr. Ndlovu. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as far as the formalities are concerned, that concludes our discussion. But unfortunately, both teams are winners. Okay? And as Ms. Mondli said, she's proud of her team. I'm equally proud of my team because I can see that they will make good public servants, but you guys have did well as well. So, all the best for students in the exams, and all the best in everything that you do, and thank you very much. Thank you, Mondli. By the way, thanks to Mondli as well. I think they did an exceptional job.